Pregame.com.
The only ranked versus ranked matchup this entire college football weekend. This is Brad Powers in the Pregame.com studios just off the Vegas Strip. We're talking the biggest game of the upcoming weekend. It happens in the Big Ten. We got Michigan at Wisconsin. And Fez, who do you like in this matchup and why?
I'm looking at the total going under the 40 points. It's all about Wisconsin's defense being elite. Amazingly, they have held every opponent's offense that they played all year long to 17 or fewer points. Now, Northwestern did get 24, but 7 of that was on a pick six. Given you hold all of your opponents to 17 or fewer, a pedestrian Michigan offense should not be able to get to that level. I would project only about 13 points for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and look, let's face it, Wisconsin hasn't, necessarily faced a lot of elite offenses. And with this Michigan offense, especially with a redshirt freshman quarterback, they're certainly not on that elite level.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still rather have Nebraska's offense or Northwestern's offense than that Michigan offense. Michigan really has struggled to score points this year.
Let's talk about finding some value this time of year. The good thing about the end of the season is you can start going through game-by-game listings and seeing some misleading, maybe in this case, higher-scoring games. I'll go back to last week. Wisconsin beats Iowa 38-14, but in that game, there's only a total like 23 first downs. Wisconsin allows a total of 5 first downs. Iowa scores both of their touchdowns via pick sixes. Wisconsin has a defensive touchdown. That was a phony higher-scoring game.
And Michigan has been the king of phony high-scoring games. If you've been trying to win playing Michigan unders, you've done fine, but you should have done better. It all started week 1 against Florida. You remember that game where Florida couldn't move the ball at all, got 2 defensive touchdowns in the first half. Michigan gets one literally with 2 minutes to play in the end zone, 21 phony points to get that total to 50. And more recently, you look at Michigan playing Indiana, not an under team. It's 20-10 with just about 5 minutes to go in the game. Somehow that game gets to 47, goes over. So you get a couple phony overs during the season, gives you value. This total probably would have been 36.5 if not for all these crazy defensive scores for both in the games of both teams.
And I prefer to bet more unders than overs. And the great thing about late November, especially in the Midwest, a lot of things that can be in your factor. How about the weather not looking so hot for Madison this weekend?
In the 30s, this is pretty much the forecast throughout the Midwest. There's going to be some wind and possibly some rain. Certainly can't hurt to have a free roll for bad weather possible.
Let's talk about your second main handicap.
The Michigan defense is really good as well. Certainly a top 20 defense. We talked about Whiskey holding down their opponents. Well, Michigan, their opponents, all but one, they've held to 20 or fewer points. Penn State did have a big day against them, but everybody else they've held in check. And I really feel, if you look at that Wisconsin offense, it's very capable, but it also does not play fast and loves to run the ball. A lot of drives resulting in field goals for Wisconsin, I think.
Yeah, and you also got to think Wisconsin has to think, at least heading into the game, is as long as we don't turn the football over, make a lot of mistakes, we should be able to come out with a win here. They're not looking for style points.
No, they don't need style points. All they got to do is win the game, and they're going to the Final Four. Contrast them with an Ohio State that's going to do a hurry-up, do everything humanly possible to run up the score. No, Wisconsin would be perfectly happy winning this game 16-10 and moving forward.
Like this pick, Fez. Let's go ahead and make it official.
Let's make it official. Wisconsin's defense has been consistently good. They've held every opponent's offense to 17 or fewer points. Michigan will get less. And Michigan's D has been solid. They've held all but one of their opponents to 20 or fewer points. Added up, the Fez math says go under the 40. More videos, pregame.com.